Podcast. I'm John Hunter. This is Chris Lahiff and Danny the Pitchman Hart. What is up, boys?
Man, what's going on, gentlemen?
What's up, fellas? Last 2 days kind of sucked for the Phillies, but somehow we're still 2 games off over 500. So it is what it is.
Absolutely. Dan, I did see your incredible Facebook post for your mother-in-law. That was great, dude.
Yeah, I've been working on these man cheeks for a little while. Might as well show them off. Been eating a lot of food over the quarantine, and it shows, baby.
All of us, dude. Every one of us have the same issue.
Hold on.
But
that was a real picture?
Fucking right it was.
That was absolutely a real picture.
God, I did not think it was. Not going to lie.
I still have girl milk on the tip, but it is what it is.
Oh, my God. You guys are nuts. I got nothing. I got absolutely nothing.
No, not enough ketchup in the world to fucking calm that down.
Oh, so
way to start the show off, boys.
Right. I love it. I love it. You got no beef for me. I like it.
So we have a couple topics today. The number one thing, and I feel like this has been just a reoccurring issue with us and something that we've been talking about for a couple weeks now, and it just hasn't gotten any better. And it's the question mark that is Joe Girardi. I mean,
it's not a question. It's not a question mark. He's not good. Like there's nothing else to it. Like he's not a good manager. I think he's overrated. I said I wasn't excited when we hired him. Everybody was because of their disdain for Gabe Kapler. I didn't like the hiring. We always go back to the Charlie Manuel and Joe Girardi thing. It wasn't hard when you had bomb lineups to make a lineup.
Yeah.
It wasn't hard, and somehow he's screwing up the Phillies lineup.
I mean, a big problem with a lot of the shit. Like it's just, I don't think he's necessarily like. It's weird. I don't think he's like necessarily an idiot because they're still putting up 7 runs a game. They're still scoring runs, so it's not like it's been awful. But it's more the inner game moves that he makes that really throw me off. Like, obviously the lineup's working. You know, we complained about that for a while, but you know what? They're doing whatever they're doing. It's working. McCutchen's starting to come around. So him being in the leadoff spot has actually been a really good bright spot right now. One of the bright spots on the team right now has been him as a leadoff guy. So I'm okay. I'm okay there right now. Like I'm okay with what he's doing for the most part, but it's the in-game moves that are confusing me. And again, the 6th inning random fucking let's change the outfielders thing.
Every time.
It just doesn't make any sense to me.
It would only make sense if you had that stud defensive outfielder to put in, and that's the move that you're just doing every game because that would make sense if you had that Gold Glove caliber center fielder. But we don't. There's like no options really better than the other one defensively. So like that makes no sense. It takes a position player off the bench, and then like you're saying the same right around the same time in most of the games. He'll let his starter go 6 innings. He'll come out one batter in the 7th, let up a hit, and he'll take him out. It's like or he does have relievers too. Like he'll let him pitch his 3 guys, or you don't even have to pitch the 3 players. That new rule if you end the inning, but then he'll let a same reliever come out in the following inning, let one base runner just take him out. It's like such a weird, like it doesn't make sense at all.
So we did it with Ranger Suarez yesterday, and this is something that like really has been confusing me. Another thing, it's like, does he just think that all relievers can go multiple innings?
Yeah, it seems that way. Yep.
And like, I get it. Ranger Suarez has had, starts in his career and he's been able to, do certain things like that. But like stop doing it with everybody. Like stop doing, like, I feel like he just brings out random guys. And like the last thing they needed yesterday was for Noah to have a bad game, which is exactly what he did.
Yeah.
Which again, is something that we'll talk about later in the show is that he's not an ace. Once again, this is another this is one of those days when you needed him to just be like, I'm going to shut shit down, and I'm not going to give it up, and I'm going to need to get in there and just fucking pitch my game, he didn't.
He needed to stop the bleeding, and
he didn't know how to, and that is a huge issue with this entire team. is that bullpen wise, none of them know how to stop bleeding.
Yeah, and Girardi's not helping him stop the bleeding.
No,
he's he's getting a little puncture wounds here and there too. He's not helping anything.
No,
but like you said, like Noah being an ace, we've been talking about this week after week. But after that complete meltdown that they had Saturday night, he needs to go 7 innings, let up 3 or less. Like you have to go win that game, or at least give the bullpen a day off. Yeah. And he just didn't do it.
I mean, the night before they go 12 innings, which again is that whole fucking game was a travesty. They gave up 2 3-run leads. They had 3 straight innings where they had a lead in extra innings and lost, and were somehow able to lose.
Yeah, it's impressive. They were impressively bad.
It doesn't make any sense to me that like some of the move and I know everyone hated on Neris, but it's funny. Neris gave up that lead, right? He gave up a home run on a pitch that was. I saw someone say it was down the middle. It wasn't. It was on the outside corner, and fucking Sandoval pulled it and was able to hit a fucking moonshot. There's nothing you can do there. He just went down and got it.
Right. But he missed his spot.
But barely. He barely missed his spot, and Sandoval made him pay for it.
Right, and JT wanted it high. That's all. And you saw when your catcher lunges at it, you know 90% of the time, even higher, it's not going to be good for the pitcher when the
not at all.
And listen, pitchers miss their spots. It happens. That's part of baseball.
Yeah.
The average blown save for a season is like 6 to 8. It's not you. So Neris hasn't been as terrible as people think he is. Don't get me wrong. It's frustrating because we know he's better, but I just feel like
he's a closer.
Yes, he's 6 to 8 blown saves. Isn't the problem is the rest of the team has been terrible. So it's easier to blame him as opposed to
it's amplified more just because it's the end of the game.
Yeah,
but other than Coonrod and Alvarado, who's really done their job in the bullpen.
But again, and you know what? I'm glad you brought that up because Alvarado hasn't really done his job.
No, but
Alvarado's numbers are extremely similar to Neris's. Extremely similar.
Well, I'm not saying that Neris has been that bad. His numbers are amplified by the fact that he's the closer, and it's like if he doesn't,
1,000%.
He lost the game. Like he gets, it's always going to be amplified for a closer. But I mean, I don't think Neris is that besides them 3, like the other options in the bullpen haven't really. Brogdon had a great run, and then like probably 2 bad outings. So other than his 2 bad outings, he's been good too. But like the bullpen isn't as good as we were hoping it would be. That's for sure.
No, and I think a big part of that is that one, they didn't have Archie Bradley like they thought they were going to. He's been out. He's supposedly coming back next week. They're trying to aim towards either the end of this week or the beginning of next week, which is fine. But what do you do with them? And who are you taking away? I'd assume it's Brogdon.
Yeah, I would think so.
Brogdon would be make the most sense. He's the youngest out of the group. He has probably the least. I mean, he's not really wailing me right now either.
Yeah, and so it's like they have really no obligation to a contract for him. So it's not like he's the obvious choice to just slide back down into a less leveraged role.
Yeah, I mean. There's just a lot of different things, and a lot of it does fall on Joe, where he is not really giving them set spots of when they come in. And I saw some people say about Alvarado be the closer. Just because you throw hard does not mean you're a closer.
He's wild, so
he's all over the place. He's just as frustrating, if not more, than Hector Neris. Mm-hmm. Coonrod can't come in when there's inherited runners.
Yeah, for some reason. It's crazy.
For some reason, when he sees runners on from somebody else, he can't do shit. He's terrible at that. So he can't inherit runners. How do you and I get it. He's gonna come in if you have him as a closer, he comes in the 9th with nobody on. That's fine. Yeah. But all he really has is a fucking fastball too. So Joe's kind of in this sense, he's kind of strapped with just Neris.
A bunch of the same type of pitchers, and then Neris is just the closer by default. He has been for a few years. He's done it. He's comfortable there.
And that's the thing. He's at least got some clout in the 9th inning. He at least has done it.
Yeah.
I can't sit there and say that this dude deserves to be that one guy deserves it over the other, but at this point, I kind of will say, I guess, that Neris is the best option.
Yeah. Unless you're going to get someone from outside the organization. It's like not like anyone has really won the job per se. Not that closer's a weird one. Like it's not really a competition. Like, you know what I mean? It's not like it's that you can't say 7th, 8th, and 9th inning are the same. Like, it's not fair. Like as a competition, but you only really lose your job as a closer if you're really bad. And then you only find out if someone can close if they get the opportunity because the aforementioned closer stinks. So like Neris ain't bad enough to just be like, all right, we need to do something else. Because usually when you demote a closer, pretty much he's gone off the team. He's
blowing lead after lead after lead. And Neris hasn't done that. No, Neris is 6 for 8 in saves. He's got an ERA coming into that game. He had an ERA under 2.
Yeah.
So he has and people were bashing him as if he's the only reason. And to be honest, he had 2 and if you look at it, he had 2 outs coming into that, and then walked the guy before Pablo Sandoval. Mm-hmm. Like there was nothing he really could have done. I guess try to blow it by him, but he's not that guy.
Yep.
I don't know, but Joe's issue. And it is the double switch. It's why are you has anyone? I don't know if anyone's watched any after. Has anyone asked him about that?
I haven't watched it because unfortunately I had to be up at 4 a.m. So I watched as much of the game as I can.
Yeah, I've watched a few of them, but I don't remember anyone mentioning why are you so cemented on doing this every fucking game for no reason?
It just doesn't make any sense. And and I think you mentioned it earlier. It's not like it's not like any of the outfielders have been better defensively than the other.
No, it's not like we. So just it's not like you're Kevin bringing Pillar. You're not throwing Kevin Pillar in the last 3 innings to try, and he does it in any situation. Like it's not like we could be up 3, down 2. It's not like a defensive extended arm of the closer to put the stud center fielder in. It's just whenever. It doesn't. There's no logic behind it. That's what his problem is with everything. He doesn't have a plan. He doesn't manage the games. He just fucking puts people out there and it's like, all right, we'll see what happens.
Yeah, so you talking about the switches and everything and the substitutions, we talked about it before you hopped on, Danny. Scott Kingery, I know for a fact I can come into a game, strike out twice, double clutch, and not make a play to first or third. I know you can do it. I know everybody watching can do it. He is absolutely terrible. I don't know why he's on this team still. I don't care about his contract. Trade him for a bottle of Stewart's root beer or something because he's terrible.
It's a fine root beer.
At least you get a deposit back on the bottle in some states.
You're being really nice when you say that he deserves to be traded for that because that is fine root beer.
It is. Some would say the best.
Some would say the best.
Then Dr. Thunder from Walmart.
But
he's aggravated. Why would you take out Gene Segura unless he was hurt? He's the contact hitter right now. Right now,
he's one of the better players on the team.
And he's the best. He's batting over 300. I don't get it. It doesn't make sense to me.
And Segura's it's not his analytics are up there too. All of his numbers are up with. I mean, him, Harper, who's unfortunately hurt, and it sucks. And Realmuto, no one else
McCutcheon.
Really. Yeah, McCutcheon lately has been a lot better as well. But Segura's, why the hell are you subbing him out? Out of anybody? It's ridiculous.
He's hurting, I don't think he realizes that there's still game left to play.
Yeah.
So you're bringing him out, and then you're taking his bat completely out of the lineup. Yeah. And you got a guy Hoskins even got dropped down to 7.
Yep.
He dropped him down to 7 yesterday. Thought that was kind of extreme.
Yeah,
I probably would 4 or 5 because Hoskins is going to get contact. That's what he's been doing all year. He's not walking anymore. What he's doing is he's getting contact. Make him your number 4.
Yep.
And I just feel like when he makes moves, it's these weird, subtle ones that don't make any sense. We want you to make moves. We want you to change things up.
Yeah.
But I don't think he is changing the right things. Their bullpen's been fucking awful. The rotation is at this point it's Zach Wheeler. because I don't really trust Noah to have back-to-back good games anymore.
And Eflin's been a good 3.
Eflin's been really good. Eflin's
Yeah.
been a very, very Eflin has been performing like a 2.
Yeah, him and Noah are pretty much on par with each other right now. And then Wheeler is just like, he has a couple of those games like, God damn, like this, he's turned it on big time. Like all their FIPS and all, I think they're all similar. So at the end of the day, they've all been similar pitchers. But like you said, Noah, dude, like you need him to be consistent. Like that's why DeGrom's the best pitcher in baseball. The dude just goes out, he's consistent. You know what you're getting. You kind of don't with Noah. He'll have a great game and then be like, fuck, man, I wish you could have at least got through 7. But
yeah, and that's all they needed him to go at least 6 innings yesterday, and he went 4.
Yeah, that's
like
not
that's and not only is it that, it's on a Sunday night game. It's a prime time game. You're getting you're supposed to be your number 1 starter.
Yeah, I guess division rival. Yep.
Like where in the world did someone look at him and go, "This dude's an ace"? Like
because he has those games and
he has flashes. That's all he is. He's flashes. It's starting to get annoying to where people actually are defending him as like this elite starter. He's not.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know. There's it's just getting tiring to watch that happen anymore. But I want to move on to Bryce Harper. Bryce left the game a week ago with an injury with his wrist. He came back and he has not looked the same.
No, not at all.
You saw yesterday
comfortable whatsoever with his swing.
It's almost like there's like a clutch before he swings again. Mm-hmm. It's like he's overcompensating for something that's wrong with his wrist.
Absolutely. Now he's going to hurt something else doing that.
I want him to go on the IL.
Yeah.
Give him time off. You can bring up whoever the fuck you want. You can I don't know. You can play around with Kingery if you keep wanting to. But at this point, I'd rather not see Harper miss more than what he should. So exactly. Give him time off. Let that wrist heal. Do whatever you got to do, and figure it out because they can't afford to lose him.
No, he's going to strain an oblique or he's going to hurt something overcompensating for it, and he's going to be wind up out for 2 months. Just go get it cleaned up and put one of your fucking 12 center field guys in. Like just put Moniak in right field and say, listen, you get another chance. Here's 2 weeks. You're going to play every day. We're not going to take you out in the 6th inning and see what happens.
That's not guaranteed.
No, it's not. He 1,000% is going to get taken out in the 6th inning for a weird move that's going to put Odubel back in right, and then they're going to put Roman Quinn in center whenever the fuck he comes back.
And then Made Time will be left somehow. It's going to be crazy. It'll make no sense whatsoever.
So since Bryce came back, he's 3 for 18 with 8 strikeouts. That's
it's not ideal.
That's showing that there's an issue.
Right. You can just tell with the way he's swinging the bat. Like you don't have to be a baseball guy. You just have to be like the everyday fan. But then you had the everyday fans. Bryce Harper's overrated. Like, no, he's injured, idiots. Like his wrist. He took a 97-mile-an-hour ball off of his wrist into his face. Go step in front of one of those and tell me how you feel when you're done.
I'm so happy that you just said that he was overrated. Because I'll tell you.
Yeah.
I'm sure, but what I'm saying is, I'm glad you said that because last night, actually, ESPN posted a little thing. Yesterday was Bryce Harper's 5,000th at bat, plate appearance. In his 5,000th plate appearance, he has a 276 batting average, 388 on base percentage, 514 slugging, 902 OPS, 752 walks, 238 home runs, 678 RBIs. He has more home runs than Barry Bonds did in his 5,000 on plate appearances. He's 2 points lower on his on base percentage than Barry Bonds is at this point. And he's a year younger, by the way. He's a year younger than Barry Bonds was when he had his 5,000th plate appearance.
Yeah, but he's just not doing enough.
He has 10 less RBIs. He has 2 more walks. Like, he is on par with young Barry, who is a fucking awesome baseball player. He already won, I think, 2 MVPs at that point.
Yeah.
In 9 years, in his first 9 years. So you're looking at somebody who, his hat.
Well,
At the time, it wasn't.
We're going to give him 2 weeks off, go on the IL, put some steroids in your butt cheeks.
And let's come back.
I could use some steroids in my butt cheeks as well, if you've seen them. But
that's going to be our background next week.
Get him a couple new helmets. Get him a couple new helmets because his head's going to get bigger, and let's rock and roll with the old Barry Bonds.
Yeah, it's funny that I'm actually looking at that stat on Twitter. Like, it's ridiculous. Like,
yeah, he's on par with every stat. It's like they literally mirrored player, like the same player. I guess I guess they didn't throw steals in there, obviously, because young Barry was running like
Barry was running,
yeah.
And you can't even really put steals in there because the new age baseball,
anyway.
they don't run.
Yeah. Every offensive numbers is on par with young Barry Bonds. I'll take that.
Hey, so I'm reading the comment. And it was I see this blip up and it says, so without roids, Barry Bonds was basically Bryce Harper.
Yeah.
But at the time, he was basically Bryce Harper, but people still looked at him as one of the best baseball players in baseball. It's funny that they don't look at Bryce as that. They'll name a ton of other guys who were better than Bryce, and it's because and it's mainly because they just don't like him.
Yeah, and he has that cocky young guy persona on him because of how young he was when he came in the league and how polarizing he was. But he's been nothing but like a great player, great teammate. Like he has no problems. It's ridiculous. He just has that stuck from when he was 16 years old.
What I was it was like we were talking. I was talking to T. Ken Rises, and we were talking about like the Braves player like Acuna and everything. I'm like, I don't like Acuna. I don't, but he's also a real. I'm not
Acuna.
But I'm not going to sit there and say that he stinks. He's not overrated.
No, just a stud.
Right? He's a stud. But he's not someone like that you can heckle and have fun with. Kind of like because like I said, obviously I grew up with Chipper Jones, so I would go to all the Braves games and. We would all be in the outfield chanting Larry, and it was out of respect. Like you just don't do that with Acuna.
You're not going to go heckle at someone that stinks either. So
right, but Bryce Harper, like Braves fans chanting overrated at Bryce Harper in Atlanta last night. It was just stupid.
It's stupid.
Over his last 162 games, his OPS is 957. That's sixth in Major League Baseball.
Yep.
Like, get some knowledge for the game. I understand none of your entire city. Is a hellhole and hasn't won a major championship other than the one. But know the facts of the sport. Stop it. At least when you're gonna chant overrated and say that Acuna is better than you, say his name correctly. like when he was correcting him a couple weeks ago. It's not even that it's aggravating. It just shows you how stupid and unintelligent baseball fans are.
Yeah, and lazy. How lazy they are. They're not clever whatsoever. It's just stupid.
Nah, it's starting to get it it's just people just are so unknowledgeable about little things in baseball anymore. It's like they don't see what he actually does. Of course everyone hated him. I'm not just a local baseball fan. I am a broad baseball fan. I like all of baseball. I follow everybody. I follow every team. I'm very up.
Yeah, me too.
I'm very up on what's going on in the world of baseball. I even have another podcast that just literally talks about all of baseball.
I'll tell you what. Since we started this show, and I have the Major League Baseball TV app for free, I've been watching so much. I had to watch that guy's no hitter last week. I got to watch the one with Musgrave a couple weeks ago. I've been watching a lot of baseball, and I forgot how much I thoroughly enjoyed baseball. Obviously, I watched the Phillies, but
yeah,
you forget when you have access to stuff. You forget how much you actually love the baseball. Like they said in Moneyball, how can you not be romantic about baseball?
And that's the thing is people don't realize that and TK Rises is saying this right now. You guys need better company. Everyone I know respect. Yeah, everyone
Yeah.
I'm not saying people I know don't like him. Obviously we all like him. I'm talking on a broad overall baseball scale. Not everyone hates Harper outside of the city of Philadelphia right now. Literally. They hate him. They think he's cocky. They think he's arrogant. They you should see some of these baseball pages. How when I literally saw a thing about last week. Someone posted it. It got 150 comments within an hour because someone posted. ESPN ESPN baseball is saying that Bryce Harper is a good guy, and people blasted Harper. 150 comments in an hour said that he was awful. He's an awful human. They clearly are just and of course you get the classic comments of ask Papelbon if he's a great guy. All right, Papelbon has come out after that and said that he was wrong for choking him.
Yeah, Papelbon's also an asshole. So
yeah, like he's not exactly your fucking your tier of where you're looking at like, oh well, he's a great judgment of character.
It's not like Jamie Moyer strangled him.
Yeah, it's a fucking psychopath in Jonathan Papelbon.
I would love to see JB Moyer.
And that's what you want. You want your closers to be psychopaths too. So that was great for Papelbon. You need that. Yeah. You need that kind of emotion.
And I'll tell you what. I feel like that right there. That was one of the moments where he probably looked at himself, went, "Fuck," and backed up and realized I better chill the fuck out.
Right? He was young. He was a young kid. He was the best.
And he was arrogant.
And there's he was doing like they said when I don't know if he was in the minors. He was doing jumps as he was rounding second, hitting home runs off of major league, off of the AAA pitching, and he comes up to the minors and Cole Hamill hits him. Welcome to baseball.
Yeah, but I feel like that's another thing that really really drives me nuts. I'll talk about it. I've talked about this before. The whole let's hit somebody because they hit you, or because they bat
a homer. Yeah.
Come on, bro. This dude's pimping a home run. You're throwing a fucking weapon at him, pretty much.
Yeah.
There's a way different way.
Home run, you get to whip your bat at the pitcher, try hurt him.
And that's how they judge that. I saw a comment yesterday. This is off topic and off the Phillies, but there was a college kid. It was actually Gary Sheffield's son, Gary Sheffield Jr. Some kid hit a fucking bomb,
and he flung the bat.
Dude, he flipped it probably it looked like it was fucking 30 feet.
Yeah.
And he's running around. All the comments were, this dude would get one in the neck. What? He was going to get one in his neck? You're going to throw a 99 mile per hour fastball at this fucking guy's neck because he flipped the fucking bat? That's a little absurd.
Right. Well, if you actually go back and if you look at that video, I know exactly what you're talking about because people were like, "Oh, it's ruining the game." They're playing a kid's game. Let's get that out there. I loved Jose Batista's bat flip. There's nothing.
It changed baseball.
Yeah,
it changed baseball.
It brought that shit back.
Right, and I don't like that Odubel does it when he's batting 110. But Jose Batista, when he did it, it was great. Like you said, it was great for baseball. But, if you go back and you look at that video, and then there was supposedly someone posted another video of when the catcher got ran over, and then people were like, "Oh, that's just that's bad baseball," this and that. I'm like, well, in college baseball, unless I'm correctly, if it's the same with Major League Baseball, you're still not allowed to block the plate, right? Unless it's thrown in.
What you mean as far as getting run over? You're not allowed to run over the catcher.
But you're not also not.
So you're not. So which would mean you're not allowed to block the plate.
Well, that's what happened. If you go back and look at the video, and he just trucks him, and then they started getting a fight, he was swinging at him.
So that whole
catcher, and you don't have the ball, and you're standing in front of the plate. What do you want the runner to do?
Exactly. That listen, that happened to my son. He was on second. He was rounding second. He was coming home to third, and the catcher was just standing there, and he just had his head down. He was just running as fast as he could, and you just heard him run into the catcher. The catcher didn't even have the ball. My son was just running.
What do you want him to do? Slide around them, run around them, and come back to the base?
Right.
Come back to home plate?
Get off the tracks, baby.
Exactly. The train's coming through.
And listen, my son hit him. The catcher fell back. He fell back. And I'm telling you, my son, he crawled and hit home plate, and he was called safe. Guy never had the ball. What the hell? Why are you standing there? And I think the coach would have lost his mind if they would have called my son out because he was literally standing on the plate.
Yeah,
and he was in the base path. It makes no sense that these catchers, you're not supposed to do it. Stop doing it. It's going to get out of the way. Hurt.
It's about the Posey rule, obviously, because he broke his leg. But
yeah,
I get the rule 100% because if you're out by Stanton's rounding third and Harper throws a missile to Knapp.
See ya.
If Knapp's trying to block the play from Stanton,
he's
going to land in my yard. It's not going to be good.
Yeah.
I get the rule. You need to protect that. But if you don't have the ball, get the hell. You're going to get ran over. Just get out of the way.
Knapp's going to wake up from a nap after he gets hit, and he's going to think that he's 7.
Yeah,
it's no shot. Am I allowing myself to put myself in that situation? I don't give a fuck. I'm all for aggressive baseball and shit like that. but there's no chance I'm allowing Giancarlo Stanton to run me over.
No.
It's either there's good baseball and then there's smart baseball. Like, so it's funny that like we could get back on topic. Like we're talking about, Bryce Harper. If you actually go on Twitter and look at the last 162 days and 162 games, people are like actually sticking up for Harper, saying, I don't know why he's overrated. Like, where are all these people saying he's over? Good morning. It's a great day to remember that Bryce Harper has an OPS over 957 in his last 162 games. So again, please refrain from calling him overrated, as in fact he is underrated and slandered for no reason whatsoever. And that's not even a Phillies fan. That's just like a regular baseball fan that because I'm like going on and I'm like, this is insane.
Well, I feel like Harper. I feel like it's so like baseball media driven that he was not a good person. Like they wanted him. They wanted him against Trout. You're a huge fan of Trout, or you're like Harper, and Harper always was the villain. But now in these days, like it's so much easier to get statistics, analytics, everything like Twitter pages, social media pages.
Yeah,
I feel like that some of the everyday baseball fans are coming back around. Like, oh shit, Harper is really good. Like he has that villain hate for him for no reason that Sports Center and shit wanted it to happen.
Well, like
now it's easier to get stats.
Like we talked 2 weeks ago about this, and TK and Rise has brought it up too. Is baseball doesn't sell Mike Trout. Like they don't
sell anybody. They don't sell anybody but Yankees.
Right, and that's not good for baseball. No one cares about Aaron Judge. I know I don't.
They do. And I'm okay with them. Aaron Judge is a star.
No, he is.
I will give them that.
But there's 31 other teams.
Other players.
Right.
30. There's 29 other teams.
I'm thinking of football.
There's 29 other teams. You're right. But that also falls on the organizations too. Yeah. Because how many commercials do you see of Phillies players?
None.
None. You see none. You see none in the city of Philadelphia. And sometimes you randomly might see like Aaron Nola, like and it's him fucking
holding Yingling.
Yeah, or like at a Kia dealership. You know what I mean? Yeah. Like no, like I don't need. That's not what we need. Ryan, we talked about this. But like that's not what we like. I don't know. It's that's just how baseball works. Baseball has never been, well, at least in the last 20 years, it has not been very driven with bringing like as far as like promoting players. Their promoting has to be some of the worst in all of sports. It probably is the worst in all of sports.
Yeah,
it blows my mind that this sport actually still gets fans because no one knows who anyone is.
No, not at all. I can even like my friends all like huge diehard 4-for-4 sports fans. Not of them know pretty much anything about any other MLB team.
So did I miss?
And that's also a problem.
Yeah,
is that a lot of people in this city, and it's a lot of people who sit there and talk a lot about baseball on different social media sites and stuff. Their baseball knowledge goes as far as Broad Street, and that's not good. Because if you don't know anything about your opponents or anything like that, how the fuck are you going to have a knowledgeable conversation about
who are you comparing your players to?
Exactly. You're comparing your own players to your own players.
Yeah. And
that's all they ever do. Like, I've seen a couple times like, oh, well, Didi Gregorius isn't Jimmy Rollins. Like, why do you want him to be Jimmy Rollins? Jimmy Rollins wasn't even that good. Yeah, I said it. He wasn't that good.
So we're not getting into that.
We won't get into that again. But
like, look at like Bryce Harper's OPS this year. Like people are like, oh, he's overrated. Well, his OPS is 960. So if you can tell me what
all
OPS
his numbers, and that's after a 3-for-18 skid.
Right. It's exactly what, and then someone's like, well, he's got more strikeouts and hits against the Braves this season. That's your retort. Like that's what you come up with. That just goes to show the ignorance that of baseball of Braves.
You almost said the right word. You said what? Retort. That's what.
So, but here's my thing. Did when you're going about like baseball fans and everything else, when did 39,000 people were allowed into a baseball stadium, other than in Texas. Like I must have missed that where they just opened up the stadium yesterday.
Georgia don't give a fuck.
They don't give a shit.
No.
They're just like, come on in.
Yeah,
No
just in time for our series, those scumbags.
let's load shit up. That's like, I love it. Like I'm all for it. I'm all for people starting to see, like, but people need to start seeing other shit. They need to broaden their baseball horizons, because it's starting to get hard for me. It's starting to get hard for all of us to fucking argue with somebody who doesn't know anything more than batting average and fucking
RBIs, yeah.
Like they're like, if that's where you're going to sit there and argue with me, my argument's probably going to be over very fast with you, because I'm not going to. There's no point in responding, because you don't know anything that I'm about to say.
No, and that's like there's a guy on the Phillies page who just talks about how bad they are. They're like 8 players. I think they're like 4 players away from being a playoff team. You know, they're this, they're that. You know, like that. We know how bad the Phillies are playing right now. Stop acting like the smartest guy in the room and telling me and telling everyone that the Phillies are going to get swept. They're going to lose 9 in a row. They need a left fielder. They need a right fielder. They need a shortstop. They need a first baseman. Like you just sound idiotic, and you can't respond. There's trolling, and then there's just idiots.
There's trolling, and then there's people who believe what they're saying, and that's the problem.
Yeah, and I really think, and that's what I always say about Philadelphia fans is they really think the stuff that comes out of their mouth is
gospel. It's gospel. They think that they are the fucking smartest people in the goddamn universe. And listen, it's actually ridiculous.
I have no problem admitting when I'm wrong about players. I've done it in the past, and I'll do it in the future. But come on, like stop preaching. Like you can't believe this. Like you can't sit there and tell me and look people straight in the face and tell me that Bryce Harper's overrated and this and that when the stats say he isn't, and you're still going to stick by the fact that he's not as good as everyone thinks he is. There's nothing, like, you can't look yourself in the mirror and be like, that's it. Bryce Harper's overrated, and that's what it is. There's nothing else to be said. And you just want to pull your hair out as a fan.
It's just funny. I mean, and I'm going to go back to the conversation I had with one of Philadelphia's own, John Kincaid, when I had that conversation with him about on-base percentage.
That guy's a moron.
He couldn't fathom that he was wrong about on-base percentage. Like, it's something so small. Like, I get it, dude. You get paid to fucking talk and say whatever the fuck you want, but, like, you have to realize people are listening to you.
Yeah. Like,
people are believing what you're saying.
Yeah, like, part of his job is to get, like, emotional, like, responses that, like, obviously, if we're talking about him, it's doing good for his show. Not that people are going to watch us and go watch John fucking Kincaid, but
yeah, like, there's not many people who are up at 6 to 10.
So he definitely wants some like retraction and some like fight, but when you're so like off base about important stats and saying, oh, Harper just needs to do more, it's like, dude, that's not even like that's
of
ridiculous.
All the people on that team, you're picking the wrong motherfucker to be pointing out he needs to do more.
So perfect example is I'm reading a comment about Harper coming from an Atlanta fan. He's like, I don't care if he wins 5 consecutive MVPs. We're required to boo and chant overrated every time he comes to the plate. We don't make the rules. And
hey,
you know what?
And I'm fine with that.
Right. And that goes back to when Phillies fans would chat Larry at Chipper Jones. Like at that point, like a guy like that probably knows baseball. Like
exactly. He knows he understands that Harper could be the best player in baseball, but we still got to fucking I got to bust his balls. Freddie Freeman's one of my favorite players and has been since he started in the league, but I'll never be like, oh, go Freddie, like, let's go.
No, I'm not going to cheer him on.
No, I'm going to still say stinks. I'm going to say I'll fucking strike his kid out in 2 pitches.
Yeah, like exactly.
His name is.
And a thing with me is like, and I've definitely realized this as I've gotten like older, and I've over the years, like I used to like, and I'm still, you guys can fucking boo me all you want. I'm a Red Sox fan, and I have been since I grew up, since I was born. My dad was a big Red Sox guy. It was a whole thing there. So like, I enjoyed watching the Red Sox, but I used to fight with the like fuck the Phillies. Like but like I'm not that guy anymore. I grew up. I'm a unbiased baseball guy. I don't look at one team and say this team is better than the other. Like obviously that's how it is. But like I'm not going to sit there and bash certain players. 2 years ago, I probably would have told you fuck Aaron Judge when you just said about Aaron Judge is like. But the more I look at it, Aaron Judge is a really, really good player, and he's good for baseball. He's another guy who's good for baseball.
Yes, he's just built of glass.
Thank God he changed his teeth because that was miserable to look at.
You didn't like
that?
But
like, no, thank God he got a. I mean, MLB's got obviously has a good dental plan. He was able to change his whole shit, but like that, like I become a lot less biased on certain players,
just more appreciative. Like,
and I feel like what really started that was fantasy baseball.
Yeah.
And it made me root for more individuals, and it made me even less biased than I used to be.
Yep.
You know what I mean? Like, so it's like every year I feel like I get less and less about it. Like, and I do. I root for a lot of teams. I root for a lot of players. I root for people hate guys like Fernando Tatis Jr.
I love it.
I love Fernando Tatis. Like I love guys like that.
Helps baseball. Yeah, it's good for baseball.
Yeah, people don't like about him fucking hitting the grand slam on a 3-0 count, and when they were blowing the fucking.
That
Rangers
was so annoying.
And
that was awful.
And you know what it was? You know what because I exactly remember that whole thing. How people lost their mind. I'm like, why? What if they're look at the Phillies? Look at the Phillies bullpen last season.
It was like the game the other day with Kershaw and the Dodgers. They scored 14 runs, and who was it? Someone bunted while they were down by a ton, and it wound up being like a 14-11 game.
Yeah.
Like Kershaw was yelling at the dude for trying to bunt and get on. Like come on, dude. Kershaw's bad with that stuff.
He told him it was Bush League, all this stuff. Like, fuck you, dude.
And wound up being a 3-run game. Like your job when you're down a bunch of runs, you need to get on base. Like you need to do what you can to make it hard for the pitcher. What am I supposed to just be like, oh, Kershaw's pitching, we're down 10. I guess I'll just take a strikeout. Like
no,
stupid.
So think about this. So in 116 plate appearances this season, Bryce Harper has knocked in just 4 Phillies other than himself,
which is ridiculous. What's he have 6 homers, 10 RBIs, right?
Yeah,
it's crazy.
And so I saw it last night, and I saw him. He struck out with no one out, men on first and second. I looked at it and I was like, again, I'm going to go back to what we talked about for the last couple weeks. Why not just have him lead off? He doesn't do much. He's not doing the only time he ever knocks guys. I mean, he knocked a couple guys in. Like his sample size with runners in scoring position was very small this year, and it looked inflated when they said he was batting like 480 or something with runners in scoring position. Because he hasn't had that many opportunities with runners in scoring position. He
sees first and second, no outs. He's probably shaking in his cleats. He don't even know what to do.
Why not just have him out there, grind out a pitcher, most likely draw a walk, and have him start that way?
Yeah, and you
could probably help him that way.
Oh yeah, absolutely, definitely. But we talked about like Mark Canha being the A's leadoff man. Like, we're obviously big pushers for your on-base guy to be your leadoff, and that's Harper,
or your best player to be the leadoff guy.
Yeah. Do you see what Arizona's doing with their lineup? Carson Kelly, their catcher, is their leadoff man. His on-base percentage is like 470, but
right now he's most likely going to be the starter, a National League starter.
Yeah. Like it's not the speed bullshit for the leadoff guys anymore. You need to have your on-base guys up top. It's that simple.
Can we just talk about, obviously we'll talk about that game.
Chris, we can talk about whatever you want, dude.
How about that double play?
Unreal. Matt, that was unreal. It couldn't happen, and it couldn't happen to a better guy.
Like what? Just like you got to be kidding me! You like get out, and he just threw it to second nonchalant, like he meant to do that.
His hand just went up, the ball was just there, and he's like, "Gotcha." Like I've never seen something so. It looked like a video game.
I was gonna say it looked like a glitch from a video game. It's like, all right, dude, like what the fuck?
It was far too smooth. The ball was perfectly placed in Dansby Swanson's glove from the throw. Like I've never seen something so perfect.
I'm gonna just throw a bat at you in my next at bat because this is not fair. Like it's like
Odubel probably would have took him 2 tries to be able to make contact with him. So
yeah, ask his girlfriend,
wife, his wife.
Boom, wrist it.
But let's.
What beer we got today? Yeah, I was gonna say, what do you got there?
That's Summer Shandy.
That's Summer Shandy.
Lyman Kugel Summer Shandy. Yes, it is. It's a fucking what a treat this is.
Oh, I love it.
It's a nice Monday treat.
Absolutely. No work tomorrow, so I'm ready.
I love the Summer Shandy.
Yeah, it's good stuff. I forgot how good it was. I bought it, went up the mountains, and I brought the second 12-pack home. It's good, fantastic, fine beer.
Dude, I saw.
At least you didn't burn the tip.
Dude,
I'm trying to drink a couple of these to calm the tip down a little bit.
I saw a Mother's Day GIF, and it was of Casey Anthony and her daughter, and it just says "Happy Mother's Day."
They didn't even. You don't even have to put anything else. It's just
That is the most miserable thing I've ever seen in my entire life.
That hurts.
What a piece of shit.
Right, let's get back to Phil.
I can't believe we had a Casey Anthony reference today.
Jesus Christ!
Right after Mother's Day.
Oh my God.
But anyway, back to the Phils. There's some things that I feel like they need to figure out. One is what the fuck is going on in center field. Still, Odubel has no matter what you say, Odubel's not working out either.
Yeah. Yeah,
like right now, like, that's all he's got.
Yeah,
he's fucking miserable.
And the fanboys will be like, "He's back, he's back."
And it's not like he's not. It's not consistent like hard contact. He looks like an idiot. 85% of the plate appearances. Like his second hit after he hit the 3-1 home run was an awful swing. He didn't even know where the ball was, and it blooped him for a hit in left field. It's not like he's finding it. And it's like, all right, he's showing real flashes here. Like he's consistently having good at bats. It's not. Like he's just it's not working out.
So,
but luckily, the minor league season has begun. So I mean, we get to at least explore other options that weren't at the alternative site and see some real at bat like gameplay. So that helps.
I mean, you're getting at bats. I mean, I saw that Mickey Moniak had an RBI triple yesterday, so he's getting his at bats, which is exactly what we needed him to do. We needed him to get out there. That was like number one. He needed to get himself out there, and he needs to get those at bats. He needs to get himself acclimated with everyday play.
Absolutely.
And hopefully down there at the alternate site, they're gonna continuously give him throw him out there.
It doesn't matter.
Lefty, righty, doesn't matter.
Like he's penned in. You need to pen him in the lineup, like for the whole season, as long as he's out there and not coming back up, because he might be a backup eventually. But yeah, if he's not up here starting, then he needs to be down there playing. So
I agree.
He has to be down there.
I agree. And right now, I'd rather see him get everyday play. And Bryson Stott has looked pretty good in the alternate site as well. He's down with I think he's in Clearwater.
I think he's with Lakeshore or whatever they're called now.
Oh yeah, with the Blue Claws.
Yeah.
He homered. I think he homered now 3 times this year. Dude, and he's got pop, dude.
That opposite fielder homer, I think, was their first game. It was like there was such a smooth, like not trying to do too much, just a comfortable swing, and he went taco boppo on him. Like that's impressive.
He already has more opposite field home runs than
Didi.
That's a crazy stat.
It is. The closest he's gotten to was dead center field.
Yeah, dead center field. Like it's crazy.
It just goes to show what kind of hitter he is. He's a fucking absolute pull hitter, and that's why he's bad. He can never get a batting average over fucking 240, like 250.
The pitcher has to, like, he's relying so much on the pitcher to give him a chance to pull it. He doesn't go with the baseball or anything.
No,
like even his opposite field hits that they're always like squibblers. Like they're not. He's not stepping into it, driving the other way. Like it's crazy that pitchers like would even dare throw him inside. Like I wouldn't even come close to throwing him pitches inside.
No, not at all, because that's all he's going to do is just fucking yank it. And I listen, he's one of those guys that I don't want to say I was wrong, but I definitely wasn't like right, because I was very big on him not signing with the Phillies. I didn't think the Phillies needed him. I still don't think the Phillies really need him,
specifically because of Bryson Stott. Yeah,
and Bryson Stott, and because of Segura. I thought Segura could handle the shortstop spot until he came back. People made it as if Didi Gregorius was this crazy upgrade defensively, which he was not.
No, he had 5 errors in like the first 15 games.
Yeah, like he's not that crazy of an upgrade defensively. So I didn't really see a reasoning to bring him in when you already had Segura. But he does bring something.
Yeah.
He brings more power than Segura does.
He's a threat. With every time it comes up, 100%. He's a threat. That's
100%. He is.
Yeah.
But like, I don't know. I just don't see. If I'm willing to shop somebody on the big league club, he might.
That's
be the
worth
guy.
something, yeah. Because I mean, like he could you can get something for DD obviously, and then like you said, we have Segura. I mean, Nick Maton with his decent play.
move.
Like I think he's getting a little overrated right now. Like his
Me too.
Oh yeah,
he's obviously playing well and he's better than people expected him to be like out of the gate, but he's not doing like mostly singles. His walk rate's terrible. His strikeout I think it's like a 4% walk rate. His strikeout rate's like 30%.
Yeah,
So it's
he's not exactly lighting it up.
No, and his batting average of balls in play is like through the roof still. Like his batting average is going to keep dropping. Like that's unsustainable.
right. And that's what I was saying earlier in our group chat is like if he continues to hit over 300, it's going to be hard to take him out of the lineup. Like if he starts to come down to earth, that's one thing.
Yeah,
but
I mean,
if he continues, like as much as we said we hate it, we have to find a spot for him if he's hitting. Like because if he's hitting. And just say Reese isn't hitting and Bryce isn't hitting because he's still hurt. We got to find a spot for him. I know we're not for the just putting them in the outfield because that seems to be the consensus. Just throw him in center field.
Yeah, like it's the easiest thing in the world. Like
I don't think people realize how hard center field is to play. Like it's
very hard.
It's not like you can just go in there and play it. Why do you think Bobby Abreu never played center field, or why Pat Barrel never played center field?
Because both of them are extremely slow.
Right, they got to be athletic and fast.
I forget. I don't know. Someone on the Phillies pre-game or post-game said something about throw Maton in center, and we're like, oh well, it's the easiest
Michael
one.
Barkan. 1,000% it was Michael.
I was like,
1,000% it was him.
No, like what? He was like, you don't have to worry about the corners. Like you have to play every angle. You have to have a strong arm. You have to be fast. You have to be smart. You have to have the greatest jump because you're looking directly at the ball. Like it's so hard to judge the depth from center field. Like it's ridiculous that they just think anyone could throw exactly what he just said.
Yeah,
people can't run a drive-through window. And yeah, exactly.
Like
it's ridiculous.
It's crazy.
Make sense. And again, it's if he continues to hit, he has to stay in the lineup. That means he's got to put left field or right field. I know it's not ideal, but like you said, are we just going to bench Didi? And put him.
No. I mean, if he continues to hit, it goes more to John's point as start shopping DD around. If you can go get a stud reliever,
or you can sell his hype and trade him.
Yeah.
Oh well, yeah. I mean, I think like organization. I don't know.
That seems like a much more feasible thing for the Phillies to do.
Yeah, I mean, if people have like if they think he has high upside and he could get something that D could get back, absolutely. I mean, I'd rather trade Maton, but
so I'm going to run numbers for you. So right now he's got a 30% K rate.
Just
Nick Maton, which is awful. He's got a 3.2 walk rate.
Also awful.
He has no home runs. He has 2 RBIs, 3 runs scored. He's got a 300 average. He's got a 333 on base percentage, which is okay.
Yeah.
He's got a 400 slugging, which is a 733 OPS. The league average is 780.
Yeah, I was gonna say it's not.
He's
not
right now.
ideal.
Right now, he's actually like, and he's got a 104.
Yeah, so he's pretty much
plus.
an average player right now, which
he
is fine.
average,
which is fine.
But he's being sold.
Yes.
He's being sold to the common baseball fan, the common Phillies fan, as a guy who must play.
Yeah,
he doesn't. He doesn't really look that great defensively. He doesn't have much range. He don't have much range at second base. I get it. He made some diving plays, and he does a couple he doesn't have much range. Like you got to remember, these guys are also playing into shifts. They're playing the ball a little bit different than how they used to.
Yeah, absolutely.
So he's already fielding closer to the ball than he normally would. I don't know. I don't look at him and think this guy needs to play every day. I don't.
Yeah. But I mean, I do agree. You got to do something in center field. Like he's probably not the move, but if you can flip him, like you said, he might have some trade value. If you could flip him for a decent center fielder, we don't even have to. A great one is like kind of out of the question at this point. No one just trades great center fielders, but if you can, I mean.
So to touch back on your point about his strikeouts, so he's got 60 at bats and he's got 19 strikeouts. Now do the average. Now do the average. That means if he has 300 at bats, he's got 95 strikeouts. That's not good. Like
I just said it. He struck out 30% of the time he's at the plate.
And that's
so his batting average is 30%. His strikeout average is 30%.
Right. But again, it goes back to people. Well, he's batting 300.
He's also striking out 300.
Right.
It's 19 hits, 19 strikeouts.
Right. He's got 18 hits and 19 strikeouts.
Yeah.
It's
not hard math right there.
No.
It is Philadelphia fans.
Yeah, for sure it is. It's an obvious one. You're looking at him. Everyone looks at everything with like these weird glasses where it's like tunnel vision. Like you don't need to do that.
Yep.
Think. This dude wasn't. There's a reason why this dude wasn't on a roster. It shouldn't really be on the roster. He found his way onto the roster because of injuries.
Yeah, I mean, I don't think he was even like regarded as a top 20 prospect in the Phillies organization.
The Phillies
now he is
now. He's right now. I believe he's the 17th,
and he's
on the major
on the team
on the major league roster.
Yeah, so
think of that.
Yeah.
So, all right, actually, to touch base back on the Bryce Harper point, he's officially got 96 at bats and 10 RBIs.
So he's on pace to get like 50 RBIs. Not great.
But
what the
he
fuck?
doesn't do enough.
I mean, this is exactly what I said to you guys before about the whole Barry Bonds thing. The year that he hit 70 plus, he only had 137 RBIs. Which I know that sounds ridiculous. He only had 130. No, yeah, he was like 5th in the MLB in RBIs that year.
Yep.
RBIs don't mean shit.
No, they don't need an RBI if people are not on base. It's just that
it's an
opportunity. It presents itself, and if it doesn't, then you get no RBIs.
It's a luck stat. That's really what it is. RBI is a luck stat. You get lucky to have guys on, which means you're lucky to be able to bring guys in. Like there's no formula to RBI. There isn't.
No,
so there needs to be less like stress on guys. Like he needs to have an RBI here, or he is an RBI. Like he doesn't have enough RBIs. Like that's not his fault that he doesn't have enough RBIs.
Yeah, unless it's like a glaring difference when like if you just can't handle the pressure of like trying to drive that run in, and you are trying to like. If your career 132 batter would run in a scoring position, there may be something to it. Yeah, but like for the everyday baseball like thought, like RBIs isn't end all be all by any means, and you need to like how many times has Harper came up with nobody on base to start the game? Like it's
a lot.
And he was on fire at that point. If Kutch and Reese were 400 on base players the first 3 weeks of the season, Harper would have 25 RBIs right now. Like,
he'd be up there for the lead right now.
Exactly.
So think about this. Like we talked about it before. So he hits the 73 home runs, hits 137 RBIs.
Yeah.
You know, only him and Rich Aurelio scored over 100 runs for that team.
Yeah, Jeff Kent, I think. Didn't he score 100? He didn't score 100?
84.
Or he 80. Okay.
He was third on the team. And Marvin Bernard, the center fielder, had 70 runs. That was
Kent batted after, right? After
Kent batted 3.
I thought it was Bonds 3, Kent 4.
No, Bonds batted 6th. Like they flip him back and forth.
No.
There's no way
Bonds didn't bat 6th. No shot.
I thought Kent was 4 for some reason, but I was also 11 years old, so
yeah.
I was not. No, I'm sorry. He did not bat 6th.
He had to bat a cleanup. He might have batted 3rd for a couple times. I wouldn't be shocked at that either. Yeah. And if anything, Kent could have even batted 2nd a couple times.
I think Aurelia batted 2nd, I believe.
That's what it was. Aurelia batted 2nd.
I think it might have been Bonds, and then they did the old "you need to protect Bonds" thing because they were walking him 200 times a year.
They sandwiched him. That makes sense.
Yeah, I believe so, and that's probably how many RBIs did Kent have? Did he have over 100?
Give me a second.
No, then again, never mind, because Bonds knocked himself in 73 fucking times, so probably didn't have many. No,
Ken had 106 RBIs. Aurelia had 97 RBIs.
Damn, that's a nice little 2, 3, 4 points right there.
Yeah, Aurelia had 37 home runs.
Bonds might have batted 4th though.
Let's see,
but I feel like Bonds wasn't.
So it went Kenny Lofton, Rich Aurelia, Jeff Kent, Bonds, Benito Santiago, Reggie Sanders, JT Snow, and Jay Bell. And Shinjo was there. This is the World Series roster, the 2002 World Series lineup. I can't imagine it was much different.
Yeah.
2 years later.
Yeah.
Nah. Yeah, Bond's definitely batted third. I'm looking at it now. He batted third, Aurelia batted second, and Kent batted cleanup.
Oh, then that was it. Then what year was that? 2003?
That was 2001. That was the year he broke the record.
Well, 2002, they switched it.
Right, and that's the year they actually went 1972, and they actually were.
They lost the
World Series
to the Angels.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah, like that was a fucking ridiculous team.
Who, the Angels or the?
That Giants team was real good. I mean, they had Russ Ortiz as one of their starters. They had Jason Schmidt, who was really good. Jason Schmidt was awesome.
Yeah.
At that point, like they had the one dude. He actually Felix Rodriguez. He ended up pitching for the Phillies.
Felix Rodriguez.
Yeah,
he was a reliever.
Rob Nen was their.
They had Rob Nen. He was their
really
closer.
Good.
Yeah, he was. Both teams were good. The fucking Angels had Troy Percival.
Yeah, Percival
who was awesome.
Yeah.
Tim Salmon was on that team. Troy Gloss.
It's like Tim Salmon was so underrated as a career. His numbers are great.
I'll tell you what, my wife loved him. She always called him the fish guy.
Yeah,
Salmon.
Yesterday, I was watching the Phillies and I saw Austin Riley. Does he not remind you of Troy Gloss?
Yeah, he does. I mean, I think Troy Gloss is probably a little taller, but yeah,
when I saw them play,
very similar. Yeah.
They just have like that country boy,
like big,
strong
white,
look.
Strong.
Yeah.
Real probably really nice to his mother.
was probably really dedicated to text her yesterday.
Oh, absolutely. Yeah.
100%. Yeah. Really respectful.
Is an old F-150.
Yeah. Says God bless you to anybody who sneezes.
Yeah.
like a super nice guy.
Like if he didn't crush baseballs, he'd probably an Oklahoma offensive lineman.
Yeah. But also still is the type of guy that you want to take home to mama.
Yeah. Exactly.
You know?
Super
sweet.
You know what's funny is you look at the 2002 Giants and like they were good because it looks like everybody was over 500 with the exception of Livan Hernandez. He was 12-16, but everyone else, like they were all the 500 start. Like it's ridiculous, and that's what the Phillies are missing. Like they had the potential, and I'm looking at this roster. I'm not saying there's anybody.
What do you think they're missing?
Yes, everything.
What I'm saying is when you're talking about the pitching, what do you think they're missing?
They need that. They need Aaron Noel to be Aaron Noel all the time, not every third start. They need a guy like a seventh and eighth inning guy, which they're just not getting it now. And
yeah.
Basically,
I thought you were saying they need guys to have a good win-loss record because that.
Well, I mean, that offense helped them with loss record.
I don't go by wins. I think wins and losses are like look at DeGrom. Wins and losses are the same as RBIs for offensive players.
Yeah, you need opportunity arises.
Yeah.
Go look at like Cole Hamels when he was pitching for the Phillies and he was getting 2 runs. He was only giving up 2 runs a game, and we were only scoring 1.
There's been like a few like really like noticeable pitchers that always had the low runs that I can think of. It's like obviously DeGrom, Matt Cain. I felt like always had it. Felix Hernandez always had trouble.
I don't think people realize how good Matt Cain was.
He was a stud.
At one point, yeah, he was a good starter at one point.
And then Felix Hernandez too. I feel like all 3 of them just never got run support. It was crazy for whatever reason. Zach
Greinke, remember that year that he went like he was like 6th in like 14 and won the Cy Young, whatever the fuck it was. It was like something stupid. Like I was like,
right, and
it didn't make any sense.
The one year he finished second, I think he was like 12-7, and people look at it and they're just like, well, he doesn't have enough wins. Like you know what, you got to look past the wins.
Dude, I remember
look at his ERA. Like you have to look at the run support. There's more to it than wins.
I used to be a big component of wins and losses. I used to think pitchers' wins and losses mattered. We all did. There was a point in time where that's what they sold us on that.
Yeah.
Like I remember a couple years ago.
I mean, it looks good, I guess. But.
You know what? You know when that stopped for me? When Justin Verlander lost the Cy Young to Rich Porcello.
Because Rick Porcello had 20 wins.
Because he had 20 wins. Like Rick Porcello was not good.
You would know, yeah.
I drafted him second the following year, and he blew.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, he's only well, that's the problem. He's only good, I believe, in odd years. If you look at his numbers, he's actually only good in odd or even year. I forget which one it is, but it's one or the other.
Cliff Lee was like that too.
Yeah, only good in odd or even
had like
years.
really dominant seasons, and other seasons were just like, all right.
He was just terrible.
He's kind of. I mean, no, I wouldn't want to say that, but I was going to say like Nola. Like sometimes he's an absolute ace, and then other years like, oh, he was pretty good.
But Nola's like that start to start.
Yes, Nola's like that every game instead of season.
You don't know what you're getting at, which is even worse.
Yeah,
I'd rather know that in 2023 he's going to be good, but in 2024 he's probably not going to be that good.
He'll be all right.
You know what I mean? Like I'm okay with that.
Yeah, he's not like we said it before in our early episodes about he's not that Roy Halladay. Like he's going to go. He's going to give you
that showstopper. Yep.
Like and Noel's not that, and fans need to realize that he's not that guy.
No,
there's nothing wrong with that, but we just need a guy who can be.
They do. They have him, Zach Wheeler. He's been the only consistency in that whole team.
Starting Wheeler had, I think, maybe two bad innings this year, pretty much.
Innings. Yeah, not innings. Starts. Innings.
Like I think they're maybe both first inning. One was definitely first inning. I don't know.
Well, the other one was. We got to think about it. That's a lot of starters. That's a lot of starters. Cliff Lee, as TK as it says in the comments, and another one was Roy Halladay. Roy Halladay used to find his spots and used to look and used to find out where the umpire was calling.
Yep.
And he would feel things out. And then from the second inning on, he was dominant.
Understood the strike zone a little bit. It was game over.
It was over.
That's why you have to get to those pitchers early. That's why. I mean,
right.
You have no chance once they settle in and understand what the umpire's calling.
Right. That's what Greg Maddux used to do. Like if you could get him in the first inning, that's good. After that, you weren't getting him. The same with Bob Tewksbury. You weren't getting to them after the second and third innings, and you had to get to them in the early innings, and hopefully. Because, like you said, like John just pointed out, once they figure out the strike zone, these guys are pinpoint. Like Greg Maddux never threw 99 miles an hour. He didn't need to.
I hated Greg Maddux.
No.
I just hate that he get that call every time.
He got all the time.
Oh, but like the umpires have been terrible too. Like the game the other day was so like ridiculously bad. I think it was Wendelstedt was behind the plate. Like that.
But listen.
And then the next day too, I think.
But if you look at the numbers, so I follow this page. It's literally an umpire's Twitter page.
Yeah, I've seen it come across. Was his consistency good that game?
The Phillies he actually favored the Phillies by a full run.
Oh yeah, no, he was definitely better for us.
For the Phillies. He was awful. Not awful, but all of his bad shit was against Atlanta. Was it Atlanta?
It was Atlanta. He started that run. Like he let
a full run. I've never seen a full run be given.
Reese struck out and got on first base because of the pass ball, which I still hate that rule. Then Harper was next. He had 3 pitches that could have been strikes. Ball to start that, and then we just scored fucking 8 runs.
You know what's funny is I forget where I forget where I was coming from, and Larry Anderson was on the radio and was like, "This umpire is going to start a fight. Someone's getting thrown out."
It was awful.
Because that's the one thing I like Larry Anderson. He's like Harper should have been struck.
Oh, he's a realist. Yeah.
Like he was.
That's why he's not. That's why he's not allowed on Comcast Person anymore.
He's too good at his job.
Yeah. Well,
they got rid of him.
He was. Drinking in between innings. Let's.
So was Harry.
Larry Anderson support.
Listen, I love Harry and I love Richie.
Harry's okay.
So.
I'm kidding. I'm just fucking.
Oh,
Harry was really good, but like what used to piss me off before we go. What really used to piss me off was like the year after the Phillies won the World Series. There was people who were saying, "Win it for Harry." Come on, shut up. Yeah. They just did.
Don't put that fucking Don't put that in the environment. Like,
right.
Yeah, they just did. Like, shut up.
Did anyone ever hear the story about Richie Ashburn and Harry Callis? How they were at a bar and they had to
Which one?
Well, it started out in a bar, so we'll end it with this. So, a hooker came up to them, was like, "We'll do anything."
Hey! It's a working lady.
It's a working lady, and he said, "Well, can you do the pregame?" How much he hated doing the pregame. I was like, that's
Dude,
cool. That and the pizza story where he would call for pizza and the Phillies would get mad at him because they weren't an official sponsor for the One Brothers place down in South Philly.
Dude, I remember
bring him pizza.
There was a story with Chris Wheeler where Chris Wheeler was like fucking being, Chris Wheeler, and the mid game, like Richie Asburn just went, Chris, stop. He went, what was the highest level of baseball you ever played? And he went, American Legion or something like that. And he went, then shut up. And then just turned around and just started talking about whatever the hell was going on. Like literally just told him to shut up in the middle of the broadcast. But it was funny because it was like the late 90s. No one was probably watching. Yeah, so, and they know it was almost like in Major League, like where like he knows that nobody's listening to them. But like
one goddamn run.
Where Bob Uecker's just going off. Like that's pretty much what it was. It was just like, and that one's out of here. It's like they didn't really give a fuck.
So, but no, I think we had a good show tonight. Like,
yeah, Wheels always got on my nerves. I hated Wheels.
I like when they reduced him to being the guy who just walks around and sits next to people.
Yeah, they turned him into he was a coach's corner for hockey.
And nobody wanted to sit there and talk to him.
Mm-hmm.
Get this fucking idiot away from me.
All right, so are we officially Mondays at 7:30 or 7 o'clock, whatever? I don't even know what time it is.
That's fine with me.
That should be good with me.
All right,
yeah.
Zach Wheeler greater than Chris Wheeler, by the way.
Yes,
in all aspects of life.
So, my cousin Brendan Wheeler greater than Chris Wheeler.
He's second from Wheelers that I know, and I don't
absolutely
know him.
Yeah, he's definitely better than Chris Wheeler.
I'm gonna throw up the banners for all the shows so we don't have to do it since we come on second. So thanks for everyone for listening. Good stuff from TK and Rises as always.
Sir. Thank you, sir.
Hopefully, listen. The week was looking good. They had that 5-game winning streak, and then the wheels just fell off. So hopefully, we can get their stuff together.
We've been saying the word wheel in the last 10 seconds.
It's definitely been an 18-wheeler episode.
we get paid by each mention of the wheel.
Yeah. And this week, hopefully Joe Girardi doesn't try to reinvent the wheel like he's been.
Yeah,
there you go. Look at that.
There's another one.
There you go.
Fucking going.
Keep the wheels turning, baby. Another one.
There you go. When is your show on your podcast?
Thursday. We are doing it Thursday. Dan, you're going to be on there. Danny was going to be on there with me this Thursday at 8:00. It's on the Buzz Network. I'll share it on my Facebook. Share it on whatever. But I'll make sure it's out there. I'll make sure it's out there. All right.
So, all right, gentlemen.
Oh, and it's the Frozen Road podcast. I don't know why I didn't just say that, but the Frozen Road podcast.
Let's keep it a secret.
You can go find it on.
You have to find it if you want.
Yeah. You can find it on Spotify. You can find it on Spotify, and you can find it on Apple Podcasts.
And if you want to find it on Twitter, he's arguing with Kincaid.
Yeah, most likely.
So, all right, gentlemen.
All right, boys.
Later.
All right, peace.
Wheels.
Wheels up. Horns up.
Wheels.